Yeah, should I show myself?
Me and my record pass you my and won't take no for an answer. Wait, what? Can I say yes? Yeah, yes. She thinks I should use my rent money to invest. I love it. Sasha's so excited to meet you, man. Thank you for doing this. First, Josh. Second, I'm here for the food and drinks. You might get more than that if you play your cards right.
Hello.
I'm here with Ted McGrath, who's receiving
Oh,
an
let me
award
mute
this
my
evening for
YouTube.
his
One
work
moment.
with Foundation for a Drug-Free World.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the actually 13th annual Drug-Free Hero Awards Gala. Yay!
Woo!
Yeah. Wow, this is such a great turnout. While we were playing that Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, I just kept letting people in, and you guys kept coming and it's so exciting. So we're so happy that you can all be here. My name is Megan Fialka, and I'm the Executive Director for Foundation for a Drug-Free World of the Americas. And I'm really excited tonight to, I'm just gonna make sure everybody's muted. I'm really excited that you're all here tonight. There's obviously a lot going on right now in our country related to drugs, and in New York State especially recently. And it's going to be more important than ever that we're really banded together as a strong team that is working in the direction of teaching youth that they have a future that is worthwhile, that they have goals, that they have a reason to achieve their dreams, and to motivate them and give them role models of people that are leading successful, healthy, active lifestyles where they're helping people without the use of drugs. And tonight is all about recognizing those of you who have your sleeves rolled up, even if they have big bows on them, whatever you're wearing, who have their sleeves rolled up in the streets of New York City or whatever state, country for some of you, or city that you're in. We're here tonight to acknowledge you who are out there really doing something about it. So again, thank you all so much for being here. This is our second time doing a big awards ceremony digitally, but tonight is especially exciting because all of the people that are getting awarded tonight were actually supposed to get this award in 2020. And I said recently, I think in an interview with Dr. Fialkoff on his TV show, A Time for Truth, I was saying how last year, way before COVID even happened, I said to myself, maybe we should skip the 13th annual gala and we should just make it the 14th annual gala. And I said, no, that's so silly. We'll just leave it as the 13th annual gala. Maybe we're responsible. We should have chosen a better number, but in any event, we kept it 13 and you're all here. We all made it. So very well done for all of you for being here. Before I introduce our next speaker tonight, I think I covered, I just want to cover a little bit about what Foundation for a Drug-Free World is. Oh, can you guys all hear me? Because someone just said they can't hear anything. Oh, you can? Okay, thank God. I was going to say I've been talking this whole time. Okay, so that's for...
We can hear you, but before with the video, you couldn't hear any sound on the video. So sometimes at the beginning of the share, there are little buttons that you have to check when you go to share.
Okay.
And if you didn't check them, you may want to make sure that they're checked so that the sound gets shared.
Okay, perfect. Well, you all got to see the visuals of the opening video. But I guess you were all just staring at Michael Jackson for 7 minutes. We were playing Man in the Mirror, so that's what it was supposed to be. In any event, we'll play it at the end then. Okay, so I just want to share a little bit with you now. This does not have any sound, what I'm going to show you. But this is our Drug-Free World website and our international website. So I'm going to pull this up.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Here we go. So for those of you who are new to Foundation for a Drug-Free World, we are an international nonprofit. This event is hosted by the Americas chapter, which is run by Dr. Fialkoff, who will be speaking after me, and myself in New York. This is the international website, and this is where you can order our free booklets, our documentary, our curriculum, and enroll on the e-courses. All of these are complimentary. If you have a classroom or a group of students that you're working with, they can actually go onto our e-courses and enroll on any of them for free. We have them on truth about drugs, prescription drug abuse, which covers opioids, Ritalin abuse, painkillers, heroin, marijuana, synthetic drugs, alcohol, inhalants, ecstasy, LSD, cocaine, crack cocaine, and crystal meth. And additionally, if you're a teacher and you wanted to have your own virtual classroom, you can also do that on the drugfreeworld.org website as well. I did also want to share with you our local website, which is right here. Can you all see that? Good. So this is our website in New York. Some of you may be here tonight that your pictures are featured here. And this kind of just shows who our crew is in New York and the local things that we're doing here. And some of the endorsements that we've had throughout New York State and New Jersey, where we've done most of our activities. And in addition to that, our chapter is responsible for Foundation for a Drug-Free World in Dominican Republic, Haiti, El Salvador, Guatemala, and French Guyana. So some of those chapters may be represented here tonight. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for the evening, who is the Executive Director for Foundation for a Drug-Free World in Central America and also our founding sponsor for our local chapter in New York. Please welcome Dr. Bernard Fialkoff.
Well, it's a pleasure to speak to all of you. I'm glad that you're on, and that our gala has started, and it's exciting to be with you. This gala was created by Megan and I back in 2007, and it was created in honor of the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse. And basically, it started very humbly in a church, and we had some people and very, very modest beginnings. But what happened is the program, Drug Free World, really started to put light out, truth out about this harmful drug pandemic. And it's, you know, this pandemic is really something that's a horrible disease that's causing basically nationwide, not only drug abuse, but violence, crime, and all the associated and attendant factors that go with drug abuse in our country. Drug Free World Heroes have been like so invaluable because all of you, when doing what you've been doing, have been bringing scientific facts to the country and to your communities to halt the confusion that's being spawned out there and promulgated and marketed, and which are really untruths. The goodwill that you inspired, all of you, as ambassadors, as heroes, as representatives of the drug-free world, basically led to so much expansion that in 2019, the gala was in Letters of New York with over 300 attendants. It was unbelievable. Unfortunately, COVID came, forced us to cancel because of regulations. But you know what? Here we are tonight, and we are continuing strong. It's very exciting to welcome our awardees, to welcome you who are participating. You are our army. You're an army of community leaders. You're working 24 hours a day, like Megan said, with your sleeves rolled up. You're determined to end what one of our ambassadors, Globetrotter Bobby Hunter, calls World War III. And we're determined to end World War III with an educational drug education against, you know, this drug epidemic. Each year at the gala, we acknowledge you. You know, you guys are the legions of old, the SEALs, the berets. You go about humbly doing what you're doing, and what you're doing, you're safeguarding our homes, our kids, our families, and with all our monumental achievements, which really are many, we formed a united group of community leaders, and it's multiplying. We're growing each year, each day. We're all a mighty vanguard, and we're exposing the insanity of the legalization of what really are poisons. When they're getting legalized, these are drug poisons which are imperiling the very fabric of our world, of our youth, of our families, or our community home. So the following artists and officials and counselors and community leaders have contributed to the gala and to drug education awareness in so many years. And what we want to do at the beginning here is just basically acknowledge some of the very important ones. They're significant. Starting in 2009, there's a tremendous list, so I had to really go through it. All of them are unbelievable. We'll start out in 2009. New York State Senator Reverend Ruben Diaz, NYPD retired narcotics detective Michael Zotto. In 2010, Rachel Murphy of the New York State Office on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. In 2013, Professor Paul Gamarano, Miss Dorothy Kardash, and Jarlene Jacob and Tiffany Williams, all from the YMCA. Lisa Barrett from the Genesee Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. In 2014, Detective Pat Blank and Sergeant Lisa Aviles, NYPD Community Affairs Bureau. Madonna Donaldson, Police Athletic Lead. David Tidman, National Counselor. Parenthood actress Erica Christensen. In 2015, New York Senator Tony Avella, Haitian Bishop Lubin Moise, Lieutenant Frank Greenangel of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, Dr. Marcelo Rodriguez, and Carlos Manuel Perez Gonzalez of the National Council of Drugs of the Dominican Republic. Director Louise Johnson and Vernon House, NYPD School Safety Division. Karen Lungard Turby, Girl Scouts of Greater New York. Troy Hanson Dixon, New York City Housing. Amanda Mason, Miss New York. The Puerto Rican Dental Association, Mr. John Carey. In 2016, Al Amoros, NYPD Retired Narcotics Officer. Tamara Chalvery, Police Athletic League. Jamie Lee Macchia, Miss New York. Sergeant Manuel Rodriguez, Pennsylvania State Constable. Patterson Napoleon, Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. Jose Nunez, Rockland Sheriff's Office. Rabbi Lev Abdurrahmanov. Maria Lozada and Leonardo Pineda of Drug Free World. New York State Senator Andrew Lanza. Frank Spitorno, Antonio Hendrickson, Michael De Leon. Ambassador Carlos Garcia of the El Salvador UN Mission. Miss Africa USA, Noella Nsamwa. Deceased, Fode Mansoure, a special man, special diplomatic advisor. Police Officer Charles Sadler, NYPD Community Affairs. Camille Sims, Miss New York. Ted McGrath, motivational speaker. Ricky Bird, 2015 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. Colonel Hugo Angulo of El Salvador. Ana Mercedes and Ramon Gross of Centro de Formación y Superación of Dominican Republic. General Edwin Nájera of Guatemala. Rocky De La Fuente, who ran for president. General Rafael Guerrero Peralta, president of the Council of Dogs of the Dominican Republic. Gabrielle Walter, Miss New York. Deputy Inspector Mark Walter and Sergeant Dennis Rodriguez of NYPD. Tony Morell, Angel Ramos, Anthony Miranda, and the entire National Latino Officers Association of America. Officer Don Bridges, President of the National Association of School Resource Officers nationwide. In 2019, Detective Carl Akil of NYPD, Goodwill Ambassador Hugh Sanan, Kelina Brown, Miss Delaware, Jade Eilers, Miss Teen, Ohio, Nicholas Palmieri, Assistant Special Agent for the US DEA, Renee Fisher, Nassau County Associate District Attorney, Reverend Uriel Frazier, NYC, New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, Globetrotter, Robert Hunter, and New York Jets, Noah Burrow. We want to thank you all for what you've done, for your heart, for making it all possible. And tonight, we're going to continue. Now over to you, Megan.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. There's so many awardees, so thank you for bearing with us. We didn't get to mention that many of them. I'm just going to mute these people.
Jesus, hallelujah.
I don't know what happened.
All right, there we go. Hallelujah, right? That's exactly right. Okay, good. Perfect. So with no further ado, I'm actually not sure if our first speaker is here because she was in a different country, so we were accommodating some time change. If not, I will just recognize her. She's a past awardee, and her name is Wildine Cupidon. She's a nun. She's from Haiti, and she's done tremendous volunteer work. Wildine, can you let me know if you're here? You can unmute yourself. Okay, great. No problem. So I'm going to do the introduction for her. So our first Drug Free Hero awardees for 2021 is their sisters. And just want to make sure everybody's muted here. Right? And their names are Ria and Renee Mendanca. And I'm going to introduce them separately. So first we'll start with Ria. Ria is a leading voice in the anti-drug campaign and has been involved in the movement since she was 10 years old. She's a writer, advisor, blogger, and YouTuber, and uses her platform to spread awareness about drug addiction. She's a co-founder of Wings of Hope, which is a youth-led organization where drug addicts can send a secret letter about the trauma they are facing and ask for help on their Instagram account. Ria has also conducted anti-drug awareness campaigns that have been featured in Times Square, Macy's, the Staten Island Ferry, and Rockefeller Center. At school, Ria is an honor roll student and also a member of the National Honor Society and the Toastmasters Club. Her motto is, even a young voice can be heard around the world, across the world. You do not have to wait to be an adult to be an angel in this world. And following is her sister, Renee, who's also a leading voice in the anti-drug campaign and has been involved in the movement as well since she was 10 years old. She is a co-founder of Wings of Hope, which again is the youth-led organization, which provides a 24-hour online help center run through their Instagram account, as I mentioned before. Her motto is, one pen and one voice can bring about a whirlwind of change in society globally. If you don't agree with something, speak up. It can create a tsunami effect. So with no further ado, please welcome Ria and Renee. And you can both unmute yourself. Okay, I see Ria, and we're just waiting for, I guess you're together. You guys can start talking.
Okay.
There we
Hello,
go.
everyone. It's such an honor to be an awardee for the Drug Free Hero Award. I believe your voice can be heard across the world, and you do not have to wait to be an adult to be an angel in this world. I am the co-founder of Wings of Hope along with my twin sister, Renee, and I have composed a song to inspire the youth called Break Free from Addictions, to provide the youth the hope and motivation to live and fight for their lives. In 2019, I put pen to paper by writing letters to President Donald Trump, governors of 50 states, jewel companies, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and heads of 195 countries. Due to the magnitude of my actions, I managed to inspire the heads, and they actually wrote back to me and they appreciated me for taking this step in raising awareness and writing to them. And they also agreed with me that they should ban vaping and drugs. So in order to extend my mission, I started a secret letter wherein the youth can write anonymous letters on my Wings of Hope Instagram account about the problems and dilemmas they are facing. So I can make sure to respond to the vaping addicts or the drug addicts who reply to me on my Instagram account by giving them pearls of wisdom and encouraging words how they can get rid of addictions.
Hi, my name is Renee Mendonça, and I'm also the co-founder of the Wings of Hope chapter. My motto in life is that one pen and one voice can bring about a whirlwind of change globally. If you don't agree with something, speak up because it can create a tsunami effect. I am truly honored and blessed to be this year's UN Drug-Free Hero Awardee. My Wings of Hope journey began when I was 10 years old, when death snatched my beloved grandfather, who was a chain smoker from the age 16. This triggered me to reach out to the youth who were caught in the web of drug addiction and smoking. In my senior year of high school, my sister and I put together a video that was shown to all the schools in New York City. With the help of some of my classmates and friends, we enacted different situations where teenagers move to drugs because they get so like depressed, and they are affected by other challenges and emotional torture. So we put up a skit and video, and we also sang a song. We composed our own lyrics and sang a song um, in regards to the vaping addiction and drug addiction in school. So I urge you to join hands in helping us to save the lives of the youth, because the youth are the future of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys were really magnificent. Thank you, and thank you for everything you're doing for this world. Okay, great. So our next MC tonight is, by the way, our MCs who are introducing the awardees are past Drug-Free Hero awardees. So we like to, continue working with them as they're basically like our ambassadors at this point. So our next MC is Assistant Special Agent in Charge of the DEA, Nicholas Palmieri.
Good evening, everybody. Could you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to introduce Jody Bard and then Francine Cutler. So I'll start with Jody Bard. Jody Bard is a health and physical education teacher in the Richfield Springs Central School District in Richfield Springs, New York. Jody is also the drug quiz team advisor and dedicates her time both in the classroom as well as outside of school, educating others about the dangers of drug use. Inspired by her father, a New York State trooper, Jody decided to advocate for comprehensive drug education in her school community. She has worked with SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions, that has provided various guest speakers as well as assisted in providing a DUI simulator for juniors and seniors. Jody has also been an annual supporter of Kick Butts Day, which provides students information about the dangers of tobacco. This March, Jody received the New York State Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance's Health Teacher of the Year for her outstanding dedication and teaching in health education. Jody credits the Foundation for a Drug-Free World for providing her with the essential information students need to stay drug-free, as well as the New York State Troopers, SAD, and the Herkimer County Drug Prevention Council for their continued support in educating our youth. Jody.
Thank you, everybody. I'm super honored to be here. Congrats to everybody who's receiving an award tonight. Never did I think that I would be here with all of you. I've watched past galas, and here we are. I'd love to thank the foundation for your continued dedication for everything that you do to provide teachers like me not only the opportunity, but all the valuable information that you provide for us. I think most of us in New York State would be lost without you. I couldn't go without thanking everybody at my school, Richfield Springs. We are small, but we are mighty. Everybody that contributes to my guest speakers, class discussions, my superintendent, Mr. Tom Piatti, for just letting me do what I do, bringing in everybody that I can think of, past drug addicts, state police, you name it, and they've been there, and I am so thankful for that. New York State AFERD and Central North Zone for always providing me and other educators with information at our fingertips. My dad, I remember him coming into my elementary school as a child and doing the DARE program, and it was from that moment that I said, you know what, that's a great path, I'm gonna follow in that, and I couldn't do it without you and everybody here. And I can't definitely go without thanking my husband and my children who give me a reason to do what I do every day. And again, congratulations to everybody that's here. I read your bios. I am truly blessed to be here among you and everything that you do. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Jody. And now we'll introduce Francine Cutler. Francine Cutler is a community health educator with the BMS Family Health and Wellness Centers, a role that is an extension of a history of service to her community. Ms. Cutler has expanded the health center's literacy initiative with Reach Out and Read, from a clinical program to an expanded community effort. BMS Books for All that distributes over 5,000 books annually to area residents. Ms. Cutler was awarded the Sesame Street in Community Leadership Award 2018 for her literacy promotion in East Brooklyn. In addition to her literacy efforts, Ms. Cutler serves as a key resource access point for families in need, identifying and distributing resources for food, clothing, housing, and employment opportunities for hundreds of families each year. Outside of her role at BMS, Ms. Cutler also serves in leadership positions, including Secretary of Agape Food Rescue, resident leader in the Mayor's Action Plan Initiative, New York State and U.S. Chaplain Task Force 2020, a 2020 presidential delegate, a Kings County Committee member since 2018, and is an ordained minister at the Universal Life Church, a role within which she provides counsel to area families. Congratulations, Francine.
apologize. I apologize. Thank you, Drug Free World, for the recognition, and congratulations to all of the honorees. The resources you provide to my community, the community health centers at BMS Family Wealth and BMS Family Health and Wellness Centers allows me to share valuable information with our New York City communities of East New York and Brownsville on living a drug-free life. Our communities have a long history of struggle with drug use, going back to the epidemic of crack cocaine and now the opioid epidemic. These statistics have a root cause in poverty and the related impacts of unemployment, homelessness, and violence. As a health educator and as a community resident, I see firsthand the devastating effects of drug use. In our area of the country, in our neighborhoods, drug use has devastated families both in regards to the health of the individuals we care for at BMS, as well as damaging the fabric of the healthy community needed to nurture the next generation. Drugs can often appear to be an easy escape from the harsh realities, and the tools and information provided to our health center by Drug Free World allows us to educate individuals in our community as to the impact of their choices. These resources are important to community health centers, which are America's health centers. You see, we provide care regardless of ability to pay, insurance status, or immigration status. BMS is on the front lines of healthcare access, and so this partnership with Drug Free World means you are right there with us, and that is invaluable. On a personal note, this challenge is important to me, as I too have family members who have been challenged by drugs, and proud to say that they have successfully been in recovery for many years. This program helps me to remind those family and friends and my fellow community residents who are either recovering or have been drug-free key information needed to continue or start on their journey. Thank you for the amazing program and the great resources that Drug Free World shares worldwide. And thank you on behalf of BMS, Family Health and Wellness Centers, for the support of your work in Brownsville and East New York communities. I would be remiss to not take this opportunity to thank my partners at Drug Free World, like Megan Firekoff and the leadership of Drug Free World. You are too our heroes. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Sorry for the little mishap. Thank
No, you were amazing. Thank you. And thank you so much, Special Agent in Charge Palmieri. You make us look so official with your background.
He does.
It's really an honor to have you here to present, and also to Francine and Jody, thank you so much for speaking. You know, it's really such a pleasure to have both of you here, so congratulations. Our next MC, who will introduce our next speakers, our next awardees, is a drug education lecturer in his own right and community leader. He will be introducing Stacy Hale and Rafael Rodriguez. Please welcome Arnold Hinnix.
Thank you, Megan. How is everyone? Stacy Hale is the person I'll be presenting. Stacy Hale is a student assistant coordinator, substance abuse awareness counselor at Franklin High School, Somerset, New Jersey. In addition to being a SAC for the past 23 years, Mrs. Hale holds many administrative certifications with the New Jersey Department of Education. Mrs. Hale has been very influential in providing prevention aware programs and events within her entire school community. As the co-chair person for the Franklin Township Municipal Alliance for the Prevention of Substance Abuse, Mrs. Hale has played an intricate part in having the students of Franklin High School participate in the community-wide social norms campaign entitled Parents Who Host Lose the Most. This community initiative provides both parents and students with accurate information about the health and safety risk associated with underage drinking and the legal consequences of providing alcohol to minors. In addition, Mrs. Hale has collaborated with many substance abuse prevention organizations to provide educational assemblies, interactive workshops, annual youth conferences, and other prevention measures for youth, including the utilization of the drug-free world curriculum in the health classes and in-school prevention groups for those students identified as high risk. In her quest during prom and graduation season, Mrs. Hale and the Student Assistance Department host an annual school-wide student parent entitled Prom, Parties, and Pitfalls. During this program, Mrs. Hale and her colleagues work diligently to collaborate with their municipal alliance, local law enforcement, and other prevention influencers to host an interactive prevention program that provides parents and students with an enormous amount of information that will help keep students safe during prom and graduation season. As the founder of Sisters in Training for Life Incorporated Leadership Mentoring Program and the Rebel Anti-Tobacco Club, Mrs. Hale has trained all her student members in being peer educators in leading the cause against the use of drugs and alcohol use abuse and prevention. Congratulations. Stacy.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. First, I would like to thank God for keeping me and giving me the strength to follow my path and purpose in life. I definitely want to acknowledge my family, my entire family, friends, husbands, children, and best friends, especially my colleagues, for always supporting me in all of my endeavors. I would be remiss if I do not thank my school administrators for approving the many prevention initiatives and collaborations that we have had with our Student Assistance Department to provide drug awareness programs and supportive counseling services within our school district. I'm thankful and honored to be receiving the Drug Free Hero Award. Having the opportunity to stand before you on this virtual platform with the other nominees who are also being recognized for making a difference in our community brings me immeasurable joy, and I will be forever grateful to the Drug Free World organization for acknowledging all for their efforts in developing prevention programs and establishing laws against substance abuse. As a student assistance coordinator and a licensed clinical therapist, working with youth of all ages can be extremely challenging at times and very exhausting. However, during these times of uncertainty, when you're faced with so many adversities in life that have affected your family members, your community, and your own mental well-being, you can choose to look at life through a different lens. In doing so, one can choose those life experiences, just as I have, to empower others to make better choices and not become victim of their circumstances, but as survivors of their circumstances. Our nation has experienced many trials and tribulations during this worldwide pandemic. Many have struggled with finding the right coping skills to overcome life stressors. Unfortunately, this has resulted in the increase of substance abuse, domestic violence abuse, and mental illness. This has led me on a lifelong journey to empower youth and adults to reach their unlimited potentials by leading a safe and drug-free lifestyle, prioritizing self-care as a daily practice, and staying active in their communities. By staying active in providing prevention education programs and becoming change agents and advocates against substance abuse. Following my purpose and plan in life to empower youth to play a greater role in both school-based and community prevention programs has offered them the ability to build upon their leadership skills, become youth ambassadors for change, and most importantly, it offers them the ability to learn and educate their peers regarding the truth about the debilitating effects of substance use and abuse. With that being said, I think it's very important to support and utilize these nonprofit organizations such as the Foundation for a Drug-Free World to provide high impact multimedia prevention programs that keep our society informed and woke regarding the truth about drugs and how drugs not only affect the person who is suffering from abuse, but how it also impacts the whole child, the whole family, and the whole community. Therefore, I cannot thank the executive team and volunteers associated with the drugfreeworld.org for developing programs for our schools and community organizations, providing those prevention information that reduces the risk factors associated with substance abuse and strengthen the protective factors that lead to structural changes in government policy, skills to improve social emotional development for our youth, and raise public awareness regarding the facts associated with drug, alcohol use, and abuse. As many coaches would say, there's no I in team, but those who commit themselves to volunteering in our communities, we sure are glad that there is a you in volunteers. With that being said, I encourage you all to continue to be a force for change and remain diligent in your quest to stay educated, informed about the dangers of substance abuse and how it can affect our youth and our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Our next awardee is Rafael G. Rodriguez. Rafael Rodriguez began his law enforcement career in 1998 as a police officer with the New York Police Department, NYPD, from 1998 to 2004. After graduating from the DEA Training Academy in Quantico, Virginia, he was assigned to the New York Division in 2004, where he served a foreign assignment. He in Santo Domingo, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, from 2009 through 2013. After completing his assignment, he returned to New York, where he continued targeting high-level drug traffickers with the New York Drug Enforcement Task Force, NYDETF, and the New York Strike Force. In 2017, Mr. Rodriguez was promoted to Supervisory Special Agent in the NYDETF. The group consisted of DEA Special Agents, NYPD Detectives, New York State Troopers, and IRS Special Agents. During his 17-year career with the DEA, Mr. Rodriguez has been successful in targeting and dismantling the highest level local, domestic, and international drug trafficking and money laundering organizations. Mr. Rodriguez has overseen investigations from inception to prosecutions of hundreds of narcotics traffickers throughout the world, and spearheaded the extradition of the same to face justice in the United States. Congratulations, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you on behalf of the Drug Enforcement Administration here in New York, and also on behalf of the Special Agent in Charge, Raymond Donovan. Thank you. I want to thank the Foundation for a Drug-Free World for this evening's event and for your efforts in educating the communities on the dangers of drug abuse, and all my fellow recipients. I grew up in New York City during the crack epidemic, and I have seen the negative effects it has on our communities. Now, as an adult, living through a pandemic, but alongside an opioid epidemic, just last year alone, we had over 90,000 overdose deaths, which includes some type of synthetic opioids. Let it be oxycodone, Vicodin, fentanyl. We here at the DEA, alongside our state and local and other federal law enforcement agencies, are here to disrupt, dismantle these criminal organizations, domestic and foreign. But law enforcement cannot do their job alone. There's a saying from when I was growing up: it takes a village to raise a child. There has to be partnership with public and the private sector to educate, to prevent, to treat its own citizens on addictions here in the U.S. One of those organizations is the Drug-Free World of America that's taking the lead, and we thank you for that. Again, thank you for the recognition. I am truly, truly honored, but please remember, we are in this fight together. That's the only way we're gonna be able to win this fight. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very, very much. Honestly, all of these awardees are so inspiring. I created the speech here, put the bios together and so on, and hearing it from our MCs introducing the awardees brings everything to life, and seeing all of you is so inspiring. So thank you so much, Arnold. You were such a great presenter. Thank you so much.
Thank
We're
you.
so thrilled to see you. And
Yes.
and just so you all know, Raphael is from the DEA, and his partner, who is also an awardee tonight, who can't be here. We are planning a follow-up event to this that he will be speaking at in regards to marijuana. People have lots of questions about marijuana, and I spoke about it to him this week. So we're going to be planning something. We'll keep you all in the loop. But let's keep moving along. We have lots more celebrities coming up and awardees. So I'd like to bring back to the stage Dr. Fielka.
Thank you, Megan. And it's my pleasure to introduce the founder of FOPAL, Dr. Tao Si Hung, who established the Federation of World Peace and Love, which is a nonprofit, non-governmental organization for public welfare. And he established it in the year 2000 in California. Dr. Hong can't be with us tonight because he's across the globe, but he has a number of his representatives here on the screen. I was seeing you, and thank you for being here representing FOPAL and Dr. Hong. So let me continue. Over the years, Dr. Hong has led FOPAL and its members to practice love and peace in their daily lives. They visited 101 nations worldwide, promoting the philosophy of yin and yang, the wisdom of balance, and the culture of consciousness, of love, peace, through various means, such as having dialogues with heads of state, religious leaders, and other visionaries. He's conducted cultural exchanges across the globe, holding world leader summits of love and peace, hosting ceremonies of ringing a bell of world peace and love. Dr. Hong encourages people of all walks of life, especially youth, to engage in international volunteering, which allows them to utilize their talents and skills and contribute to the society and the communities that they live in. FOPAL hopes that the hearts and souls strengthen their physical, mental, and spiritual health and improve their well-being. Such a culture will enable people to create collective virtues, glory, as they work together to build peace and harmony amongst them, amongst nations, between nature and creatures. So FOPAL is really quite an institution worldwide, and it had an event in the International Day of Consciousness, April 5th, 2021. And it's my pleasure actually to introduce Dr. Hong. He couldn't be here, so he sent his video. So what I wanted to ask you, Megan, is do you want to share my screen, or do you have it there, or? Otherwise, I'll share.
You can share. I just enabled you to share.
No problem. Okay. So let me actually share the sound and share the screen. And please let me know if you hear him well.
Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I would like to thank the organizer, the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, for its long-standing commitment to promoting anti-drug education and raising public awareness. In honor of the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, the Foundation reminds the world to value health, safety, and justice while working together for global health. I am very pleased to receive the Drug-Free Hero Award. I would like to share this honor with all of you because it takes our collective efforts to safeguard and improve our planet and create a truly drug-free world. be it the world situation, social order, or family, or personal environment. There are many crises, big or small, lurking around the corner, but many of them happen because of the thoughts arising from our hearts. A single bad thought may unconsciously allow a poison to enter the body. The obvious effect of a poison is the physical reaction to the drug. Drug abuse not only harms an individual physically and mentally, but also places a burden on society. The key driver of this behavior is the heart hidden inside. The function of the heart is far-reaching, and the purity of the heart is easily affected by greed, anger, obsession, arrogance, and skepticism, which we call the poisons of the heart. If the 5 poisons are not removed, medicine will be ineffective, and it will be even more difficult to quit drugs. The poisons of the heart require the antidote for the heart, which is conscience. Conscience is innate, and we need to nurture it with love. It inspires our inherent goodness and guides us to do good deeds. It is our compass in life, guiding us to walk on the right path and make the right decisions. Conscience gives us the courage to do the right thing and become a better person, and it empowers us to speak out for social justice and take action for global peace and harmony. From individuals, families, schools, communities, to countries and the world, conscience is the foundation of creating a fresh and kind culture. The promotion of a culture of conscience will bring opportunities for change to the world and individuals. With conscience, we can guide our love and realize love. With love, we can overcome all kinds of challenges. It is because of our love for family, friends, and all humanity that we work together to promote a drug-free world. Only by inspiring more people's conscience can we fundamentally solve the problems of drug abuse and raise society's moral standards. People will also realize the true meaning of love and the value of life in the process of practicing conscience. I sincerely hope that more organizations and individuals will join hands to support a drug-free world so that drug-free heroes and heroes of conscience can work together to make everyone a superhero, to light up the world, to activate a global virtuous cycle with conscience and love, and to create a culture of love and peace for the next generation, as well as a happy and sustainable future of hope. I would like to thank the organizer again. May you all be blessed with happiness every day. Thank you all.
So there you go.
Wow. That was,
Thank you, Dr.
yeah.
Quite amazing. Thank you, Dr. Hong. And I know there's a number of members of FOPAL here. I see you on the screen. Thank you all for, coming and for being with us. And as Dr. Hong said, we're going to make a whole big army and make consciousness in the world. So let me turn it over to you, Megan, so we can continue. I know we have a lot to do tonight.
Okay, that was fantastic. Who's excited, right? Yeah, okay, good. I'm like so excited about all of the people who are here. This is like a great energy. Okay, good. So yes, we're gonna keep moving on. So our next speaker here is a past drug-free hero awardee. I actually think I saw her a second ago. She's also a community leader and I mentioned already, past drug-free hero awardee. She's a very dynamic woman. Please welcome Sharnice Gatewood.
Woohoo! Thank you so much allowing me to be a part of this with everyone. So my lady that I'm introducing this evening is Megan Poser. Megan Poser is a freshman physician assistant major at Gannon University. Megan received her Girl Scout Gold Award last year by working to raise awareness on addiction. She created lesson plans to teach young students about the effect of addiction has on people and families and even the communities. Megan worked with local politicians on her project, and as a result, the overdose rate in Staten Island dropped by 44% during the duration of her project. So yay to Megan. Salute, sister.
Thank you so much. I want to take the time to thank the Foundation for a Drug-Free World for recognizing the hard work of people making firsthand change in their community. I also want to thank my family and friends and the Girl Scouts of Greater New York for supporting me and my project with such an important issue. My project took place between 2019 and 2020, but in 2021, something unexpected happened. We were hit with a pandemic. It left a lot of people inside, causing a lot of people who struggle with addiction to fall back into old habits. Now more than ever, we need to stand together in community and walk with those who need our help. People are more than their addictions. And I believe that our goal this year should not only be to decrease the overdose rates in America, but also to reduce the negative connotation that is associated with addiction and mental illness. We should strive to be advocates for hope and change, something that the world needs more of nowadays. I would like to end with a quote by Barbara Mikulski, which reads, "Each one of us can make change. Each one of us can make a difference, but together we can make a change." Thank you.
I was trying to clap and unmute myself. It wasn't working. So sorry for my delayed clap. Thank you so, so much. We are so happy to have both of you here, Megan and Shanice. I think you're both calling in from New Jersey. Is that correct? Shanice, where are you?
New York.
Oh, sorry. And, and Megan, where are you?
I'm a Staten Islander, but I'm in Erie, Pennsylvania in school right now.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. Well, thank you both so much for being here. Shanice, thank you so much for doing such a beautiful introduction. This event is making me so happy to see my old friends who I haven't been able to see in person in too long. So it's lots of hugs and kisses to you virtually. Thank you for introducing Megan. And Megan, it's a pleasure to finally be able to see you. So thank you for your speech tonight. So with that, we're going to keep moving on. We have some really exciting people coming up. So the next person is a past Miss Delaware, and she is also a Drug-Free World ambassador. She became an ambassador as Miss Delaware, and she's continued to work with us. I did a podcast interview with her this summer, and she's going to introduce two of our next awardees. Please welcome Keelana Brown.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm going to start with Nancy Sanders. Nancy Sanders is a licensed professional counselor who has over 25 years working in a public education setting, including several years in private practice in her own center, the Connections Counseling Center. She is a certified special education teacher, K through 12, school counselor, and substance awareness coordinator who holds a supervisor's certificate. She is also a certified drug and alcohol counselor and has been proactive in the fight on drugs within her community. She is on the Say Something Task Force, spreading awareness about the opioid and heroin epidemic. Teaches her students about drug education and suicide prevention. Nancy began implementing the Drug-Free World curriculum into her 7th and 8th grade health classes in 2008 and has taught it ever since. She believes in the work that Drug-Free World has been doing and continues to support this program as she knows how valuable and realistic this material is and the impact it has had on her youth. Nancy is committed to helping others and enjoys educating children, adolescents, adults, and families. Nancy Sanders.
I want to thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And I just want to say congratulations to all the awardees. What a wonderful crew of people. And this organization is an amazing organization. This is such a special honor for me tonight, and to be acknowledged as a drug-free hero. I want to thank my school, my administration, my superintendent, and most of all, my children, Amy Lee, Matthew, Kimberly, and Lee. Without their support and encouragement, I wouldn't be able to do all this wonderful work that I've done over the years. I've dedicated my life's work to helping others and educating them about the dangers of drugs and how it impacts not only the drug user's life, but the lives of others, the ripple effect. Awareness is key. I pride myself in speaking and communicating with the children, and I thank Drug Free World for this fabulous curriculum. I found this curriculum back in 2008. It's been an amazing tool. It portrays a real life journey of the effects of drugs and how and when it all begins. It's so personalized and so relatable that the kids really take to it, and they're just intrigued with all the video clips and the curriculum and the activities that we share with them. I've worked in a high school, I've worked in middle school, and I've worked in an elementary school. I've seen that drugs does not always begin in a high school, but sometimes as early as elementary school for many. I've learned that working with so many students and families, whether in the school or the community or my private practice, how important prevention is. It's the key. We need to teach, we need to explain the dangers. We need to get these children when they're young. We need to start having these conversations and speaking from our heart and opening that door to communication. In my experience, I've seen that young people these days have so much on their plates. You know, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of factors that build. I see children having anxiety as young as kindergartners entering elementary school. It's so important now, especially with the COVID-19 and the pandemic and this fast-paced world that we live in. It's just a recipe for disaster. We have to intervene. We need to teach prevention. We need to give them the skills, the coping skills that they need to be ready for this world and the demands. You know, I've heard that they call our world pill nation. There's a pill for everything. It can fix everything. A quick fix, and it'll make all our worries go away. Well, I don't think that's the key. The key is education and prevention. I worked in my local high school as a substance abuse coordinator, and back in 2006, I had administered what was called the American Alcohol and Drug Survey. And there were over 900 students in my high school. And the one thing that resonated the most with me was it didn't start in high school. Drugs, experimentation, first use starts in elementary school. So we're kind of missing the boat. We need to go back. We need to start at an early age, having these conversations, awareness, coping skills, and starting the dialogue. I was so determined from that survey that I had to do something. I had to say something. So I got involved in my school, my community. We started a student alliance in my high school. I would attend student alliance meetings on a weekly basis. I would get the kids involved. I wanted to give them a voice. We'd set up a table at our school. They would share literature. They would have meetings. We would have open floors for kids to come and talk and share experiences. We got involved in our community. At the PNC Arts Center, we went, we rallied, we spoke, we ran an underage drinking slogan. We had Prevention First, that also had an underage drinking coalition. So we got very active within the community. That included our ministerian, our clergy, our churches, our police officers. We have a very good DARE program at my school, and I work very closely with our local police. And, you know, it takes the village. It takes everybody on board. And we need trusted adults and people that are willing and able, that these children feel comfortable with talking with. Anyway, with all of this going on and the work, the hard work, the foundation that we started putting together, it kind of prepared us for what was to happen next. In 2008, in my small community, we suffered a suicide contagion in which many people, that young people, died by suicide. And there was two common factors: some type of mental illness and substance abuse in each and every case. We lost a lot of young people. Families and faculty members were heartbroken. We felt helpless. It became very apparent to me that education, communication, prevention, and awareness was the key. What came first, mental illness or substance abuse? We self-medicate, we put a Band-Aid on some of the problems. Stigma is a terrible obstacle that prevents people from getting the help they need. So stigma is very important in my message as well, to break that stigma, to give the people the facts, the information, the education, to get rid of that guilt, blame, stigma. Finding Drug-Free World was a blessing. I love your organization. It is an amazing educational tool. I get excited when I teach it. The kids like it, they're receptive. And I have been using it since 2008 with my 7th graders, my 8th graders, and I introduce it in all facets: private practice, community. We have 7 sending districts. I've shared this curriculum over and over again with our other area counselors, school counselors, private counselors. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all the hard work and all the wonderful people that are involved in this organization. I want to close with saying that it is my wish that we all could be part of a drug-free world, and what a beautiful world it would be. Thank you for this wonderful curriculum and for honoring me tonight. I am truly blessed to be a drug-free hero. Thank you.
Beautiful, very beautiful. With all of us together, we will definitely have a drug-free world.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I now will be introducing Alizé Uterin. Alizé Uterin is an ambassador of the Outre-mer Network for French Caribbean in New York and is a recognized journalist and member of the International Association of Press Photographers, Inc., the Francophone Center of Press in New York, and an accredited journalist at the United Nations. She has also become a member of the U.S. National Committee for UN Women, advocating for gender equality and women empowerment. Alizé is also the brain behind Alizé Levé Media and the editorial director of Alizé Levé Magazine, an international multicultural bilingual magazine promoting diversity and cultures around the world. In 2018, she was appointed as the Vice President for Media and Public Affairs for United African Congress, the premier Pan-African umbrella organization representing the interests of almost 8 million African diaspora peoples and communities residing throughout these United States. Then she was chosen to become the Media and PR Manager for former Prime Deputy Minister Cynthia Mother Pratt of Bahamas, working also with her foundation focused on underprivileged women and victims of domestic violence. In July 2019, she became an ambassador for the Foundation for a Drug-Free World of the Americas. Since October 2020, she has joined Women of Concern Professionals in Strategic Conscious Networking, which mission is to prevent active approaches for community development and socioeconomic growth.
Thank you so much for this great presentation. So as we said, my name is Alizé Uterin. So I'm also a brand ambassador for Drug-Free World. So it's a real honor for me to be there tonight. And when I started, my commitment to work as an ambassador for Drug-Free World, I wasn't expecting anything in terms of just do what I'm supposed to do for my home country, the French Gala, which is very impacted by drug. And it has been very challenging because when you try to educate people, it's not always easy because especially the young people, they are very influenced by doing what they do. And despite all the challenges, because especially in my home country where we have a lot of young people into drugs and they end up in jail, sometimes they die. So, and my mission is really, to spread the word and spread this message, with Drug-Free World. And unfortunately, when I started my mission, I've been stopped by a politician in my country, and because they tend to leave the situation like that, to prevent others to help the young people. And but despite all this, I've been focusing on trying to find different way to still educate people and to show that it's very important that all together we keep doing this mission to help the world and also to impact everyone's, because that's when it comes to drugs, that's touch everyone. I mean, there's no status, there's no color, there's no race. So it's something like that a problem that everyone is concerned. So my goal is still, to keep doing what I've been doing, and hopefully, more people will join, especially in my country and the West Indies and the French Caribbean, that I will be able to spread this message, and we'll continue together. So thank you for having me tonight. It's a real honor, and I would like to thank Dr. Megan and Dr. Bernard also again, also for rewarding me tonight for my work.
Thank you so much, Elise, and it's so wonderful to see you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, well, we definitely have a hopeful future. There's many people getting involved in this this mission. So we actually have a very hopeful future. And thank you all so much. Let's give Elise a hand.
Thank you.
For her award.
Thank you.
And also to Keilana Brown, who was our MC and introduced Elise and Nancy. And I didn't take a pause to acknowledge Nancy, but Nancy, that speech was quite powerful. And I am actually trying to remember some of the quotes of things that you have each said tonight, so I can reshare them, because there's things that are being mentioned and things that are being said that are just like, wow, really impinge you like throughout your whole body, like, oh my God. So really, I was really impacted by your speech, and Elise, tremendous things that you have done and tremendous things that you will do in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to bring on our next MC, who is an amazing woman. We've been working with her for years now. She was Miss Teen Ohio. She's had different pageant titles throughout the years. She's extremely industrious. She's an actress. She's involved in pageants. She's going to be beginning university very soon, and she's going to be our next MC, and her name is Jade Eilers.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Thank you so much for having me. So the first person I'll be introducing is Henry Opperman. So Henry Opperman is a high school health and physical education teacher at Uniondale High School. Opperman was named Amazing Person of the Year by the Nassau Zone of the New York State Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance, and is also the president for the Nassau Zone of NYSAHPERD. Mr. Opperman has a drive and determination not only to do what is best for his students, but to also better himself as an educator. His skills-driven approach when teaching health education has allowed his students to advocate for one another, create attainable goals, and access credible, reliable information to help them live long and prosperous lives. Mr. Opperman has utilized the New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports to train his students in opioid overdose prevention and naloxone administration. He has also brought in Mothers Against Drunk Driving and Alcoholics Anonymous to speak with his students about the dangers of alcohol. Congratulations, Mr. Opperman.
Thank you very much, Jay, for that kind introduction. So good evening, everybody. I first want to congratulate all of our award winners tonight. They are all most deserving, and I'm very humbled to be a part of this phenomenal group of drug-free heroes. As a health educator, I've learned very early on in my career that the best way to teach my scholars was to follow that skills-driven approach. with that skills-driven approach, it's not just utilizing this phenomenal drug-free education program, it's also integrating all of the skills that they'll not just use throughout their high school careers, but also throughout their everyday life. And that includes analyzing those influences that could be potentially deadly, making those appropriate decisions, accessing credible and reliable information and sources, and making those goals that can be not only good for them, but also the people around them. I'm also now spearheading an anti-vaping campaign at my school because that's something that has unfortunately become a big problem. So I'm hoping with the help of my other fellow health educators and social workers that we could try to nip that and try to stop that, because we all know that vaping, there are so many deadly chemicals that are in there, and just to stop that from happening and to, you know, try to steer them in that correct direction, that is definitely my ultimate goal with that. In closing, I want to again thank you for this humbling award. It is greatly appreciated. And as a health educator, as long as I can make that impact for one scholar and they can pass it on to someone else, to a friend, a family member, or relative, and then they can pass it on, hopefully that'll do what we can to nip this drug issue that we have across not just New York, but also across the globe. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it.
All right, the next two people that I will be introducing are Avi and Julie Israel. So Avi Israel is a retired electrician who turned into a fierce advocate following the death of his 20-year-old son, Michael David Israel. Avi is president and CEO of Save the Michaels of the World, Inc., a grassroots addiction recovery organization that he and his wife Julie started in 2011. Vowing to prevent other families from having to suffer the same devastation they did, Avi and Julie turned their personal tragedy into a community crusade to provide substance use disorder and complete wraparound services to those suffering from substance use disorder and their families. Avi was a driving force behind the I Stop legislation and the Michael David Israel laws, is one of two parent advisors to the NYS Suicide Prevention Task Force, and he testified before the U.S. Senate on the dangers of prescription drug abuse and gave testimony in front of several FDA panels on the dangers of prescription drug abuse. Avi's motives are altruistic. He never wants another parent to experience the agony he and his family did with the needless passing of Michael. Congratulations, Avi and Julie.
Are you here? Avi and Julie, if you're here, you can unmute yourself. Okay. Well, I guess they're not here, so that's okay. We will all acknowledge them right now with a big hand.
You know, I wanted to say one thing, Megan, to all of us, because you know, we look at statistics and we look at numbers, but you know, as Jade was talking, I could feel the loss, the sorrow, and you know, when you lose a son like they've lost, I'm sure it was very difficult for them to come on this to get an award probably tonight. And so from all of us, I want to send out to them and Drug Free World Americas our sympathy, our sorrow for their loss. And it's horrible. And so much congratulations for what they're doing and for the strength that they have, that they're actually going out into life and continuing. It must be very difficult for them when they see young kids. It probably reminds them of their son. And so it really is something for all of us to look at on this webcast, is that the importance of what we're doing, because we talk about percentages, but percentages don't mean anything when it's your son, when it's your daughter, your nephew. So, you know, thank you so much, all of you, for what you're doing. And, you know, it's salvaging people like this. So go ahead, Megan, you take over again and we'll continue.
Okay, good. Thank you. It's very true, everything that you said. So thank you. And thank you so much, Jade. It's such a pleasure to see you. We've basically been working with you as you're growing up. So it's so exciting to see all the changes and to know how much you're going to do. You're only, what, 18 or 17 years old? So I'm really excited to see what's ahead of you in the next decade of your life. So thank you so much for being here. And also, I know your mom is somewhere on here. If I go to my gallery view, maybe I can see her. Okay, well, Alicia, for those of you who do not know Alicia, Alicia's Jade's mom, and she is a huge supporter of Foundation for a Drug-Free World, and she's really been instrumental in everything we've been able to do with Jade. So thank you so much, Alicia, for helping us to make everything possible tonight. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, great. So our next speaker, our next MC tonight, her name is Kennedy Chase. This is actually our first time having her at one of our events, and I'm really excited to hear her speak. She will be introducing our next awardees. Please welcome Miss Kennedy Chase.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. So honored to be surrounded virtually by so many inspiring people. So today, or this evening, I'll be introducing two awardees. The first is Matthew Martinez. Matthew Martinez is a middle school science teacher at the Chapel School and an adjunct at Concordia College, New York. He has a BA and MA in biology from Lehman College, an MED in curriculum and instruction from Concordia University, Portland, and a Doctor of Education at Concordia University, St. Paul. Matthew is also a member of the New York Community Board and has helped renovate the quarry ball fields to make sports and events more accessible to schools. He is a user of the Drug-Free World's Educator Kit, making drug education and prevention accessible to students year after year. Matthew is also a volunteer Duolingo Global Ambassador and speaks English, Spanish, French, and Italian. He loves to volunteer.
You're on mute.
It looks like it muted myself. I don't know what happened. Would you like me to redo it? I can do it again. Okay.
It was only a short sentence, so you just read the last sentence. Yeah, only one sentence.
Oh, okay, the last sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with Matthew is also a volunteer Duolingo Global Ambassador and speaks English, Spanish, French, and Italian. He loves to volunteer, travel, learn new languages, and immerse himself in cultures. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Awesome. So I just recently defended my dissertation this past Tuesday, and I passed. And I'm so happy that I'm receiving my Doctor of Education degree. And I'll be graduating next weekend and attending my graduation with my parents, and that's definitely for them. But this award is definitely for my students and their parents, because they, the only reason why I know about a drug-free world is because they demanded that I teach the health curriculum centered around drugs and having them aware of things like vaping, and also including other drugs as well. And they wanted to know the difference between them, how they were categorized, DEA schedules, and all of that information. And just clearly getting something from a drug-free world was very beneficial, because it clearly laid out what I needed to teach, delivering facts and helping my students know what the real dangers are about drugs. And having that candid conversation with them was very beneficial as well. And I opened up that conversation with them. They're very much aware that I'm approachable with things, especially about drugs, and they can ask me. So now they're looking at high schools and they're asking me, so one student was asking me about this drug, or if I would be cool enough, and they're already exposing themselves to this in their high schools, but they are aware of it and they know that it's not the good choice to make. And also helping my students who have either parents or family members recover from drug addiction. so that they have a person that they can chat with and they can talk to about the facts. And last thing that I love to do with my students is that I had them sign not only the pledge online, but I also printed out a hard copy and I had them put it on their refrigerator so that they see that every morning. They take the pledge every single morning. And then it's also in their lockers as well. And they take the pledge when they go to their lockers and they see that. And it's a reminder that not only that I care about them, but that other people do want them to be here. And we don't want to lose them to this poison, as it was eloquently said before. This is a poison, and we don't want our students to be exposed to that poison. Thank you.
Very well said.
Yes, thank you.
I love your idea with a pledge on the refrigerator.
Thank you.
Very real.
So next I'll be presenting or introducing Lee Kassler. Lee Kassler and his wife, Lisa, lost their beautiful son, Garrett, 4 years ago at the age of 27. The unimaginable loss led them to honor him by starting a foundation in his name, the Garrett Kassler Memorial Fund. They dedicate their time to raising awareness by training and distributing Narcan, an invaluable tool used to reverse the effects of an overdose. To date, they have distributed over 500 kits. Their goal is to help one person, one family, one life at a time. Congratulations.
Kennedy, thank you. Megan, thank you. And Dr. Fialkov, thank you very much for introducing us to this wonderful organization. Lisa and I and my daughter Erica are humbled that we could be part of this. Just as many of you, our son Garrett was raised a normal, outgoing, loving young adult. You know, here is his picture here. I don't know if everybody could see it. His struggles began in high school. The typical beginnings of starting with marijuana. His marijuana abuse led to opioid abuse, which led to heroin abuse and a fatal overdose in February of 2017. Our story, you know, we could talk about our story for hours here, but you know what the point that I wanted to convey is, if this could happen to us, a normal, what we like to call normal family, educated, it could happen to everybody or anybody. So our goal after Garrett passed was to try and prevent.
You're muted.
It went on mute somehow, so I'm gonna go find you to unmute you. There you are. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Yeah, so what we try and do, our organization, after his passing, we formed a fund in his honor. And what we try and do is educate the community. We tell our story about our journey, Garrett's journey as a family and an individual through grade school, through high school, through college, and the ups and the downs and the roller coaster of emotions and recovery and mental illness, etc. And what we're trying to convey, or we're trying to inform people is, again, Garrett, a normal, outgoing, loving person, became an addict, and he was stigmatized, and we try and let people know there's nothing to be ashamed of. And, throughout our journey, we have taught people how to use Narcan, trained people how to use Narcan, distributed probably 500 to 600 kits to members of the community and the surrounding area. And I think one of the most humbling things about this journey is when a young adult or a family member of an addict comes back to us and says, thank you so much for giving us the insight. Thank you for allowing us to get help for our loved one. Thank you for for being there for us. And Megan, Dr. Fialkov, thank you for letting us be a part of this organization, and we hope to continue. And should anybody here ever need or have the need for Narcan or training, please contact us, and we would be happy to help you guys out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very, very much. That was definitely, really glad that we were able to actually see each other for the first time. I know we've been corresponding on email for a long time, and I had a son in August who was 8 months now. So, I can't even imagine, your experience, but. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm just lots of muting, and you need a unmuting person on these. So, it takes a lot of courage to do what you did. So thank you very much for what you have done and for what I know you'll continue to do. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And Kennedy, it's a privilege and honor to have you here. Thank you so much for doing these introductions, and we hope to continue working with you as well.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was such an honor.
Absolutely.
Great job, Kennedy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move on to, I think this is our last 3 awardees. And stick around because I do want to let you all know about something that we'd like for all of you to participate in. So, but before I tell you what that is, I'm going to introduce her. She's Miss Los Angeles County. I met her out here in Los Angeles sometime, I don't even know now, last year or the year before. And we did a podcast together, and we've done other drug-free education and prevention things together. And she will be our next MC. Please welcome Jasmine Avelos, Miss Los Angeles County.
Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here today, or tonight, I guess. I'm on the West Coast, so I'm a little bit behind you guys, but I'm so excited to introduce Heather DeBlasi, Todd Riley, and Tamika Williams Moore. We're going to go ahead and start off with Heather. Heather wears many hats in the addictions field. She is the program director at Crossroads Treatment Center, a medication-assisted treatment center, addiction studies program coordinator, and professor at Middlesex County College, Municipal Alliance coordinator in Highlands and Atlantic Highlands, an educator, and a national public speaker. She first began her career in the addictions field as an inpatient counselor, but has expanded her career to include prevention, intervention, education, research, and advocacy. Her results will be presented in various forums in the hopes that other addiction professionals can use them for evidence-based practices to better serve those that she has come to dedicate her life's work to. Please welcome Heather Speaks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is with a great honor that I accept this Drug-Free Hero Award tonight from the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. I want to congratulate all my other fellow honorees and the Foundation for a Drug-Free World for their work in this field. It is an organization that is bringing prevention, education, and awareness to youth and adults about drugs so that people can make informed decisions. I want to thank my family, my children, and the village that stands with me. It is through your love, support, and understanding of my life's passion that allows me to stand before you tonight. It is the many nights of takeout food and distractions and missed events over the years that has allowed me to become the person that I am today. A person who has dedicated her life to and educating others, a person who gives a voice for those who cannot find their own, and a person who believes we can make a difference together. We now find ourselves in the challenging times of COVID, which has changed this field forever. As a result, drug use, mental health, and suicide have increased. Through increased awareness, education, and prevention, we can stop the stigma, remove the barriers, and prevent someone from making a decision that could ruin their life. Just as one bad decision can ruin someone's life, one good decision can change someone's life forever. To those who suffer from a substance use disorder, you are never alone. Take the first step towards recovery and discover that life is waiting for you. There is hope in recovery. Thank you very much.
That's beautiful. You know, something that is important for all of us to know is that if we educate those young kids that we're talking about before they get to be 21 years of age, the statistics show that pretty much they probably will never take drugs in their lifetime. So what we're all doing is so important, because by educating them and by getting to them at an early age and getting them not to take drugs, we can pretty much guarantee that they won't take it the rest of their lives, and little by little we'll reach our goal of a drug-free world, you know? So thank you, Heather, for what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Heather. Our next award recipient is Todd C. Riley. Todd is a supervisory special agent who began his law enforcement career in 2002 as a police officer with the Wilmington DE Police Department. In 2008, SSA Riley left the WPD as a detective and joined the Drug Enforcement Administration, or the DEA. SSA Riley was assigned to the New York Division, where he worked for several years in the Elite Red Room unit that targeted robbery, kidnapping crews that preyed on other drug trafficking organizations. He was promoted in 2016 and has supervised some of the most productive units in the DEA. Riley has led by example and gained the respect of his colleagues through his tireless pursuit of justice. Please welcome Todd.
Thank you very much. Thank you on behalf of the Drug Enforcement Administration, the New York Division, especially SAC Raven Donovan, ASAC Nick Palmieri, and my fellow recipient tonight, Supervisor Ralph Rodriguez. Also, thank you to the drug-free world for shining a continuing light on the dangers of drugs. As most of you know, when you're in this business of combating drugs, you hear the usual arguments that we should just legalize it and it's a victimless crime. But you only have to look as far as prescription drugs prescribed by a doctor. People think it can't be that bad because the doctor gave it to you or your parents. There's so many examples that I'm sure a lot of us know where that simple pill that a doctor may have gave you turns into a spiral and addiction to harder drugs that you start abusing, and it's harder to kick. I can guarantee you everyone in here knows someone, either a family member, a friend, or another community member that's been affected by drugs. And they know that whether you're the person that's affected by the drugs or the person abusing it, it takes a personal toll on everyone connected to that person. It's not victimless. You've heard from parents on here who have lost loved ones. You cannot tell them that it's a victimless crime. What I can assure you is that my colleagues and I will continue to battle on the front lines to disrupt and dismantle drug trafficking organizations and to prevent the diversion of opioids into the open markets. I'd be remiss not to remind everyone that this Saturday we have our drug take back at various locations, different Walgreens, CVS's, and other spots where we can return unused prescription drugs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd. Our next recipient is Tamika Williams. Tamika Williams Moore is a construction inspector, community activist, and the president of a nonprofit organization in Flushing, New York, geared at improving the quality of life for all demographics residing in the community. I was muted, I'm not. Mrs. Williams Moore is a member of various committees, such as the Department of Youth and Community Development, New York City Housing Authority, Community Advisory Committee with the Federal Monitorship, and in 2018, a member of the Queens College Advisory Board. Ms. Williams' work brings educational programs, food assistance programs, legal services, drug addiction services, employment opportunities, community activities, and mental health trainings to over 400,000 adults and children. merging her love for community engagement and her employment. In March of 2020, Mrs. Williams-Moore was invited to the Do It preschool in the Lower East Side to engage children and to inspire little girls to take leadership roles in non-traditional employment in fields such as construction. In 2020, Mrs. Williams-Moore packaged and distributed face masks and hand sanitizer to over 4,000 residents and their families, hosted a large food distribution for Pamunkey houses and the surrounding communities, a toy drive for children, an annual turkey distribution at an annual Community Recognition Day to offer support and help restore hope to those grieving during the COVID-19 pandemic. And on April 6th of 2021, Mrs. Williams-Moore was appointed as a community board member of CB8. Please welcome Tamika Williams.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction. First, I would like to thank the Foundation for a Drug-Free World for this award. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Dr. Fialkoff. Born in the 70s and raised in the 80s, I lived through the crack era, and I've seen and experienced what it's like to live through someone else's drug abuse, experiencing stages of the addiction as if I myself were the addict. Love could not change the outcome of my experience, but today I sit before you and I accept this award as a token of strive and perseverance and determination to change the source of someone else's addiction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tamika. I do want to acknowledge something else as something that is Tamika's product, even though she didn't mention it here. In 2012, I think it was, we put an ad up for a volunteer photographer on Craigslist for our Drug-Free World chapter. We really rely on volunteers for all of the work that we do. And we got this boy, man, whatever you want to, I don't know how old he was then. And he applied. His name was Tamik Williams. So you'll recognize Tamika Williams just got the award. This was Tamik, her son. And he was basically like an angel sent from, I don't know where. It didn't even make sense that he found us. It didn't make sense that we connected. But he basically, for almost a decade now, it's almost a decade, is our documenter, meaning he documents all of our activities. He's gone out and shot probably more than 1,000 of our events. He created the Drug-Free World theme song that he performed at a past gala. He's driven around some of our VIP speakers from when we were going from events in Harlem to the Bronx and we were in a rush, and oh my God, he performed at a Truth About Drugs concert of ours in Harlem. He has been my right-hand man for many years in Drug-Free World, and that is her son. So that is actually also one of her products here, even though she hasn't mentioned it, that she raised him and that he, in addition to being a musician and a really talented rapper, he creates rhymes that are, I don't even really understand how he comes up with them. He's also extremely philanthropic. I went to his Instagram recently and saw the amount of turkeys he distributed in Thanksgiving and some of the flack he got at the supermarket for those who didn't know what he was doing. So in any event, I did want to acknowledge that because Tamika is part of our Drug-Free World family for many years, even if sometimes behind the scenes, she's always there in heart and very, very supportive. So thank you very much, Tamika.
Thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamika.
Dr. Fialkoff.
Yes, and you know what? And thank you, Tamik, wherever he's at right now. Tamik is becoming a real rap star, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing him soon. And he's been something else, like Megan said. He's volunteered. He's done so many things over the years. It's been amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. There are some really special people here tonight that I do want to acknowledge. And I want to make sure that I don't miss, I will end up missing some people. But before I do that, I also do want for us to acknowledge Jasmine, Miss Los Angeles County, who for doing these introductions and for always doing everything with such enthusiasm. I think that's what I would, if I summed up Jasmine in one word, I would say enthusiasm. So thank you so much. Let's give her a hand. Great. And that will give me an opportunity to let my dog out of this room. Okay. Very good. Yeah.
One person that we haven't acknowledged, and he's in the gallery. There's a person, Tessitore, who is there, who actually does Drug Free World with his daughter, like Megan and I have done together. And it's very interesting because now we have all these families starting, and it's really a beautiful thing that so many families are doing this Drug Free World together. So I don't know if he's still out there, but Darren Tessitore, who's done so much across the country with the school resource officers and the auto industry and amazing accomplishments. I want to make sure we mention him.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be seeing lots more of him. Some of the people that I do want to acknowledge that are here, who have done lots of work with us through the years, and I apologize if I don't say your name because you all matter, but we have our Dominican Republic chapter director, Carlos Manuel Perez Gonzalez. If you can just wave so we can see you. Okay, we have Cleveland Polite from the Church of Scientology of Harlem, who has supported Drug Free World in many activities in Harlem. Let's give Cleveland a hand. Okay. After him, we have Dan Schneider. You may recognize his name from The Pharmacist on Netflix. That is a documentary on Netflix that is very popular and very famous, and he's actually a celebrity. It looks like he stepped out from his desk, but you can see his really cool background with the Leonardo da Vinci. I think that's Leonardo da Vinci. You see with the fingers touching. So in spirit, thank you, Dan. Okay, great. I do want to acknowledge everyone who is here from the organization FAUPAL, right? Or FOPAL, I'm sorry. That's FOPAL. I apologize. There are so many of you here. You are all very much acknowledged. That video was unbelievably professional and touching, and many of you made donations ahead of this event, which we really want to thank you for. It really is an honor to work with each and every one of you. I saw that many of you are actually in San Jose, so I will be getting in touch with you privately after this because we'd love to do some work with you in San Jose. So thank you all very much for being here. It's quite an honor to have each of you. Okay, continuing on here, we have Jeff Stone here. Jeff, I'm gonna probably pronounce, I think it's Project Help. I hope I'm pronouncing it right or stating the right words, because we were recently introduced to each other, but he's from Long Island. He runs this nonprofit Project Help or Project Hope. He'll correct me later. We'll be hearing more from him, and then he'll be able to explain more of what he does. But he's very influential in the community, and we definitely want to work with him in the future. One girl that I do want her to take herself off mute and just say, hi, I'm Julia. You can do that, Julia, for a second. Julia Jacobellis.
Nice to see all of you.
Okay, good. So this woman here, Julia, is my intern, and she basically planned this entire gala. You all received her emails. She helped me with your bios. She organized your Google Calendar invites if you got one. She has been unbelievable answering my emails at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not kidding. And she's amazing. So let's all give her a hand for being unbelievable. Very well done. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Julia. Amazing. You did a great job.
All right, continuing on, we have Nicole Drew, who's from the New York State Troopers. She's getting active right now in Buffalo. Thank you so much for being here. Continuing onward, we have Taji De Souza. She is a celebrity fashion stylist. She has her own radio show, and we're working together in more ways than one. So Taji, thank you so much for being here. Awesome. Continuing on here, we have Wildany Cupidon, who she was supposed to do an introduction. I didn't see her in the participant list. And she's also a past Drug for Hero awardee. So if you can wave so we can all see you, Wildany, and we'll have you do more with the United Nations very soon. We'll be in touch. And lastly, I see here Pamela Valinsky from the Church of Scientology also has been a huge help in hosting many events at their church in Times Square, which has been a great facility for us to be able to conduct events in this fantastic space with tons of schools in the Bronx for Red Ribbon Week and these awareness days for specific drugs. So thank you. I don't know if she's on here either. Is Pamela here? Okay, well, thank you very much. And before we end off here, we do want to just go over a couple of quick things with you. The first thing is, I'm not going to play all these for you, but some of you might be familiar if you're following our Instagram with a new campaign we just launched. And I'm just going to show it to you because we'd love all of you to create a 1-minute selfie video and send it to us. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. Ready? Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Bettis, Miss Winter Park. As an advocate for addiction prevention, treatment, and recovery, I'm so excited to be a part of Drug Free World America's #IRL in Real Life series. It's so important for you to live your life every day happy, healthy, and without the use of drugs. And I'm excited to share the ways that I do this on a daily basis. For my physical health, my favorite form of exercise is dance. It keeps my body and mind healthy, as well as allowing me to express myself in my favorite art form. For my mental health, I find the most fulfillment from serving others. I encourage all of you to find a cause or organization that you can stand behind. And if you're looking for a place to start, Drug Free World Americas can always use another advocate. And together, we can save lives.
Great. So this, oh,
hey guys,
one went to the next one. Hold on.
Drug Free World America ambassador. So I'm doing this little video to tell you.
Okay, great. So these are in real life. That's what #IRL means, in real life. So what do you like to do in real life for fun or to keep you motivated to achieve your goals? So we're having lots of different important people, which includes all of you, film these 1-minute selfies and just email them to me at drugfreeworldny@gmail.com. And we'll then put them in those frames and we'll put them on Instagram. And the purpose of this is to create a movement, a campaign of people promoting what they like to do to stay active, healthy, interested, achieving their goals without the use of drugs. So if you would like to create your own 1-minute, it has to be 1 minute to go on Instagram. That's the only time you can have on one of those posts. So just a quick 1-minute selfie. I'm going to put my email address in the chat. And if you're able to create one, we would love that. You could send it to me tomorrow. You could send it to me over the weekend. You can, if other people want to do it, everyone's invited to do it and they just email me their video. Okay? Great. Okay, last order of business here. One moment, let me pull up my speech. Okay, wonderful. All right, so perfect. And one other thing, and then I'll turn this to Dr. Fialkoff. So for those of our awardees tonight, you will be getting your award. It's a medal this year that you can wear to your house. When you get that, we would love for you to also take a picture of you wearing your medal and please send it to us. Oh, there they are. Okay, they haven't been shipped yet. I've been getting lots of queries about that. So there they are. So you'll be getting those in the mail. This is our 2021 Drug Free Hero awardees. So please take a picture of yourself wearing it so that we can promote it, okay? And now, last but not least, before I end it with a video, I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Fialkoff.
Thank you, Megan. So as always, it was a great night. And I want to thank you, first of all of you. I know you're all busy, especially I see what participants we have here. You're constantly doing something. So I want to acknowledge you for taking the time. You know, in life, there's never time. The only time that exists is the time that we make and we prioritize. So thank you, all of you, for prioritizing, for coming, for doing, and participating, all of you. Julia, I want to thank you again because you know what you did in volunteering, all those hours and time is amazing. It's fantastic. And before I actually go on to the last part that I'm going to talk about, I wanted to also recognize someone who became a mother about almost about, I guess, 8 months ago. And aside from her favorite dog, you know, she now has her son. And so it's amazing. That sounds good. You know what? Shamis is doing something. We can all give a nice round of applause to Megan.
Thank you very much.
You know, she has her son. She's doing this. And she's doing a lot of other things that she does to actually humanitarian work to help, to eliminate what's going on that needs to change and to educate. So it's really such a great feeling as a father to see what she's doing and to have all of you here tonight and have Fopal here and a lot of the people who participated. So now, as we come.
One last thing before you get to that point.
Go ahead.
I did want to mention to everyone, as things are changing in the society right now at a very fast rate, it's going to be more important than ever that we stick together and that we work together. There are going to be unbelievable challenges in regards to this subject of drugs. And the way that we will be able to continue our work and help people, which is why we all do this work, we like helping people. We like seeing the result of helping someone who does better and is happier and feels better, is that we work together. If we all go separate ways as individuals, the message gets lost. But if we continue to work together and unite all of our purposes to continue to educate on drug abuse and inspire people through putting leaders up there for them that they can look at and say, wow, look at this guy. He's successful. He's doing well. And you know what? That's interesting. He's actually not doing drugs. You know, that's a big message that's being put out right now, is that perhaps people are successful because they use drugs. You know, it's a miseducation. And so it's so important that we stick together and work together and help each other. So Drug Free World will always be here for you. We will always be available to provide you our free drug education materials, events, webinars, training seminars, and collaboration. If people are putting on events, they want speakers, or you want to put on a fashion show and you want some kind of Drug Free World t-shirt, or you want us to be a part of it, let's be creative. Let's put some arts and sports and government and tie it all together and really create some amazing products this year to help the generation that is now growing up to be able to have a different future than what's being pushed to be their future. So with that, now Dr. Fialka.
Very, very important words, a lot of good concepts, and we definitely need to do that. When we come now to the conclusion of our gala, it's a little bit sad. It's always, and my grandmother used to say, we plan, we plan, we plan, we're getting excited, and then it's over. And so we're almost to that point now where it's over, but it means now we have a new beginning. And if you really look at life, that's the way life is. We plan things, we get the joy of accomplishment, and we go into the future. And when you look at what's been discussed tonight, what we've interacted with, and the families that have been impacted on this very gala, we realize how important and how mammoth our accomplishments are, and how important an influence they do in our communities and our families. Because a nation is basically composed of communities and families. There is no nation without a family, without a community. So we realize that we need to continue to educate. We've got to confront this drug malady. What choice do any of us really have? If you really look at it, what is there in life if we're not doing something for our family or for our kids? What are we working for? What is the purpose? And what is the future of this world? You know, I'm sure Tamika sees that with her son Tamik and what he's done for her and the joy of that. And I'm watching that in my own children. And basically our actions are so crucial. It's like taking your next breath. It's like feeling your next heartbeat. It's like hearing the happy voices of your kids, of your grandkids, of the people at one of your conferences as they partake and discuss. So if we're going to go on, we're not funded by a government agency, but we should be. Wall Street does not invest in drug education. Kids are not a stock issue that they're interested in. Maybe a little harsh, but it's true. Their profit earning ratios don't include drug education and a drug-free world. Only the people that you see on this screen and the person that you see on your screen and in the mirror, which is you, are going to matter and are going to decide how this war ends. As we reach an end and we think about our kids and we think about our grandkids and we think about our grandparents and what they did for us and how we're a whole family in this world, I ask you, and Drug Free World asks you, to look deep into your hearts, into your dreams, and to contribute what you can to Drug Free World, the Americas chapter, and to Drug Free World. And why is that? Because all the information is given free of charge. All the conferences that we give are given free of charge. Why? Because what is a world without children? And what kind of world are we going to have if our kids are drugged? Your donations tonight are the educational spear into that drug monster that's menacing our kids and our families. Tomorrow and someday, we will look back. We will revel in how we came together and we saved our homes. When we're sitting there as grandparents, we'll relish that we got an opportunity to see our kids graduate from college, establish their professions, sing on Broadway, and we will have the impossible dream, like Barbara Streisand said. We will have a drug-free world. We will have a drug-free future and a future of liberty and safety for all the children of the world, as Fopal has said, with love and honor and respect. And I guarantee you and promise you that Megan and I will not stop and will continue. And the link, because Megan would kill me if I didn't tell you, is drugfreeworldamericas.org/donate. drugfreeworldamericas.org/donate. Now is the time, and we will win. Thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we end off with this video, there was one comment that Judy from FOPAL wanted to say. She raised her hand.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Dr. Filkoff. I don't mean to take away from that very powerful speech at the end, but my heart is really pounding right now because we've been to a lot of virtual events in the past year because of COVID. This one is so much full of love, of support that I am just so overwhelmed. So I really wanted to show FOPAL's support for you guys, and congratulations to your great work. Dr. Hong regrettably couldn't be here, but he expressed that we must show our gratitude towards you and our support for you. And I know you guys have the ebooks online. It's wonderful. Dr. Fialkov mentioned all free. And we want to show our support through FOPAL's website. We have the Maxims of Conscience, and also on the ICA website with the Conscience Education Package. Free also for you guys to utilize, because we want to support you as well with such a great mission and all the speakers. And last thing, echoing what Megan said, a song, just a quote from one of our songs. We can change the world as one. Thank you so much for a wonderful event. Just had to share. Thank you.
Judy, those are so beautiful. Those are beautiful words. And you know what? That actually just makes it even better now, because I think the energy level went even higher, and we're singing now. And we definitely are going to partner with you. Because when we have love, when we have consciousness, we have a drug-free world. And there's a different way to make money, and it's not by killing our children. I'm going to come up with some other solutions. I'm sure you all can do that also. And we're going to have to educate a little bit more also. But it's going to happen. Everyone will end up very happy, because I want to mention one last thing. How many parents in the world, whether it's a mother or father, want their kids on drugs? How many American parents? How many African parents? How many Chinese parents? How many Russian parents? Zero. And that unites all of us in love and peace. And when we all fight for our children, there is no more war. We have the peace and love that Dr. Hong wants to create. It's a great idea, and it will occur. So drug-free world brings us together. So do what you can. Thank you for your support. I don't know if you want to say anything, Megan.
Yes,
And,
we're gonna close off with this video to leave you inspired, and then we'll give you official goodbye once this is done. You ready?
Absolutely.
So with that, we come to the close. Thank you all so much for being here, and we look forward to working with you in the rest of 2021. Thank you so much, and good night.
Night.
Thank you, Megan. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Stay
Good night,
safe.
everybody. Good night.
Congratulations.
Good night.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Congratulations, everyone. Good night.
Keep up the good work. Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good job.
Bye, Megan.
Congratulations.
Bye.
Congratulations. Good night.
How do I end it?
There's still so many people on the meet.
Is there?
We're working our way there. We get to see everyone.
How about it?
You're unmuted.
Oh, I'm on mute.
He is unmuted. You guys, good night.
Okay, good night.
All those beautiful, smiling faces.